Good morning. This is Miss Becky from art school. I know you're really bored sitting around the house and you're really tired of being confined, and I'm really tired of not seeing my art students. So I thought since my older daughter in New York City is doing all of her lessons on video, it might be a good time for Miss Becky to upgrade my technology and do some videos too. So she had a great project with her students this week. I wanted to share that with you. For this particular project, you need a cereal box. Okay, so this one is a cereal box. I also have a cracker box here, any kind of little box. This is that gray cardboard that you get from boxes of this sort. So any type of box like that. Now, moms, make sure that when you're bringing in things like this from the store now because of the virus, that you are wiping that down with a sanitary wipe. The cereal bag inside is good to take on into your kitchen, but the box itself may be contaminated. So before you give it to your children, just wipe it off good with the sanitary wipe to be sure we've killed some germs. All right, so this is great cardboard because it's real easy to cut. And the project that we're going to do today is we're taking a piece of that cardboard and one side of the box we're going to use as a plate. You remember in printmaking, the plate is the place where the image goes. And so I'm going to take some of my cardboard on the other piece and I'm going to actually start cutting. And so I've started cutting. Well, I've still got to get used to where my camera is. I've started cutting, and I started with a kind of a square or a rectangle because today we're going to do a flower, just something simple to get started with. And it's easy to start with a square and then round off your corners. It does not have to be perfect because guess what? Every single flower is a little different, right? So they're not all perfect symmetric um, things. So we're going to round off our corners now. So I'm taking and rounding off my corners. Okay. And then because I'm doing a flower today, I'm going to actually cut into my circle here and create my petals. So I'm going down toward the middle and I'm going to cut out a little space in between like that. Cut me another petal. I'm going to cut in between like this. I'm going kind of fast, I know, but you can look at the video again if you need to. I'm going to start up here at the point. I'm going to move down toward the center. Okay. I'm coming from the other direction like this, and I'm going to move back toward the center. All right. And remember, no flower is perfect, so it's going to be fine. I'm going to cut from the point down to the center. I'm going to take in, I'm going to come in right there. All right. And then I'm going to cut right here. One more. And I got this first petal that I started with way over here, so I'm going to take and cut that back to right there. So now what I have is kind of like a little star. And if you want to use that piece for your flower, that's fine. If you don't want to go any further than that, that's fine. I went a little further with mine, and so you older girls, y'all might want to find something a little bit more challenging. So what I did is after I cut this, I actually went on into the center and cut a circle out of the middle, kind of a center section there. All right, so now I have a flower with a hole in it. And then I keep this part because I'm going to use it in the middle. And I went ahead and cut my petals apart. All right. So what we're going to do is after we've cut out our parts, we're going to start by assembling them on our other piece of cardboard. So I found it very helpful to be able to take this gray cardboard, the back side of your cardboard box, and paste up the pieces on that using the colorful side back up because then you can see it really easily on your paper, and certainly for the video that makes it easier as well. And so you can see that I used the little center part, and I actually took a hole puncher and made some more holes in it so it would have those negative spaces that look kind of like the seeds are there. Then I cut out all my various flower petals, And I usually don't glue everything down until I've got everything cut out and reassembled on my page. Let me say that again, especially for you younger ones who love to move on to the glue. Just make sure you've got all your pieces laid out like you want them before you start gluing. Um, so then when I glue my things up, I always leave some space. So if you're going to leave your flower like this, then you obviously, whoop, hang on, I'm trying to get used to my video. Not quite used to that yet. Okay. All right, here we go. It's backwards to what I am. All right, so if you want to glue it up as one big piece like that, that's okay. You can do that. I like cutting my pieces apart because you'll see that in my pieces I have actually left some spaces between the petals. All right, so between these petals I've left some spaces. I like that because the type of printing process we're going to do today is very, very helpful to have these spaces like that between my petals. So you can only do that usually if you put everything on the page like you want it and then start gluing one piece at a time. Now what I found was that after I had cut my circle out and then got my petals, the pieces that were in between I thought would make an excellent part of my design as well, because remember flowers often have trumpets in the middle and then they're surrounded by a ring of other flowers or other petals. So I thought once I cut out my leaves and got my petals kind of separated and then reassembled, I thought about those pieces that I cut out that are in between, and I decided I would take and cut the scissors along this edge and create kind of a ruffled edge. So I just took, see where it's pointed right there, that's going to be toward the flower. So this is your outside edge, so you can take your scissors and wiggle them like this. All right, because I always like moving my paper around, and that way you get this nice curved line there. And when you put that down between your flower petals, it kind of gives you an outside skirt to your flower like that, that has that has a nice curvy sort of wavy sort of line. So it adds to your design and it gives your flower a little bit more um, realistic look, I guess you might say. I don't know. It's all pretty whimsical. All right, from my cardboard, I'm also going to cut my stem. So there's my stem. I can't get my orientation correct here because I'm backwards. And then I'm also going to cut my leaves. All right, so I'll show you how I did those leaves, okay? Because what we're doing here is we're using the negative space, and that again is why I like to keep those spaces between my petals there, so we have some negative space, and you're going to see why in just a minute. All right, so here we go. I have a petal. It's basically a leaf shape. There we go, nice leaf shape that I can put on my flower, on my stem. But I want to make it look better. Now, if you want to leave it like that, especially for you younger girls, if you want to leave it like that, it's okay. It's your work. You do what you'd like to there. But I'm going to cut right up through the middle of my leaf, right through the middle here. And then I'm going to come in inside and give it just some little triangles. And then when I glue it up, I'm going to keep some space there. So here I go. I've got my shape. I'm going to cut right up, and I don't do a straight line now because this is nature. Nature is a lot of curved lines. So now I have two pieces. All right, so I can glue those apart from each other and create that negative space. But let's go ahead and make it look a little bit more like a realistic plant because those plants have veins. So the line that would be down the middle, I'm going to come in with my scissors and just cut little triangles. See, I'm just going to cut in, cut down to the point, whoop, like that. You know, sound effects always make things better, right? All right, so here we go. Cut in. There we go. All right, so now I have one. Now that's that center part of my leaf. Now if you want to stop there and leave one side solid and leave the other side with that nice vein look thing in the middle of your leaf, that's great. If you want to, that'll be perfect. But I'm going to go and do the other side too, because there's veins on both sides. Otherwise, it don't get the sap. If you don't get the sap, you ain't getting no growth juice, right? Okay, so sometimes my scissors are not meeting right there at the point because I'm having a hard time seeing what I'm doing, but that's okay. It's normal for Miss Becky, right? All right, so here we go. All right, so now I have a couple of places, 2 or 3 places where I have only cut. Come here, you. It sounds just like me, doesn't it? You guys who know me so well. All right, so now I have 2 pieces. All right, you can see them there under my fingers, and I've created that nice negative space in there and given it a nice feeling of there really is a leaf there, so you can do those kinds of things. And also notice I am missing one of my pieces up here. So I'm going to glue now. When you get ready to glue, you may use the white glue if you like. If you have that at home, that is great. Um, but you know my rule, just a dot, 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 and a few dots here and there. Doesn't take a river of glue. Isn't that right, Olivia? Okay, not a river of glue, not a puddle, right, Rebecca? Yeah. All right, so you can do that, or you can use a glue stick. I happened to find a glue stick quicker than I did the white glue this morning at the house. I know I got white glue here somewhere, but I didn't find it. And I also pull out a page from an old magazine or an old catalog. Make sure you ask your mother first before you do that so that you're not ripping something up she wants to read or use later. All right, but I like to do that because as you glue your pieces, you need some place for the excess glue to go, not the top of the dining room table. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to glue those pieces, and I'm just going to snozz it down good with my glue stick. I'm sorry that my camera angle is not right where you can see that. I'm going to let that come kind of from there. And I'm looking to put a little space between. I'm going to glue again. Okay, hang on. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. All right, I'm going to take and I'm going to glue that piece. Whoop, got it in the wrong spot. Bring it on down. I'm going to pull the tip together a little bit more because as your plant grows, this tip, whoop, wrong finger, right there it is. This tip right here needs to be a little closer together because it'll make that line in the middle thinner. All right, because as things grow, you'll notice limbs and branches, they're skinnier toward the end where they're still growing. The part that is closer to the plant is usually much wider. Okay, so that's why I'm leaving those parts kind of apart, and that negative space is going to help us with our design. Okay, whoa, my elbow went on the glue sheet. Now I'm stuck to that. So like Miss Becky, right? All right, so I'm going to stick that one piece right back up there, and I'm going to, there we go. All right, so once you've got everything kind of stuck down, depending on whether you're using a glue stick or you're using I probably got the wrong piece there, but that's okay. Whether you're using a glue stick or whether you're using white glue, you need to give it a chance to kind of dry a little bit so that it's stuck really well onto your paper. And also the paper that we're going to use for printing is not going to get stuck on that. I can tell that's the wrong piece right there. Should have been this one right here. But it doesn't bother me that it's not perfect. It's art. It's not perfect. Okay. So don't feel like yours has to be perfect, and don't feel like yours has to look like mine. All right, so I'm going to give this a minute to kind of dry a little bit, and then I'm going to hopefully come right back and be able to show you how to print this. What we'll do is actually lay a sheet of clean paper on top. You can take your crayons and begin doing a rubbing. Now for me, I'm going to do my petals in one color, probably my center in a different color, and I'll probably do these outer pieces right in here even a different color. So I might do these in a pink, this in this center part in a bright yellow, and then these outer pieces maybe in an orange or a light limey green or some other color. And then of course your leaves and things. And then you can always finish up your picture by coming back and coloring in these spaces with a blue sky and birds or butterflies and other things you want to add. For you boys out there that want to do this project, I don't want that girly project with flowers and leaves. You can do trucks and cars and space things and you know, all kinds of boy things, outer space with planets and other things. Just cut your pieces out of your cardboard and then glue them to the other side of your cardboard so that you have them glued down. Keep in mind the size of the paper you're going to use for printing. All right. And then, oh, one more thing I was going to do. I did cut those holes out of my flower center right there, and I was going to use those, like, you know, Miss Becky never lets anything go to waste, right? All right. So what I did is I made a curvy line and streak of glue on my plate, and now I'm going to take, and it really helps if you moisten your finger, but I'm not suggesting you put your finger in your mouth with coronavirus going on. But I know my hands are clean because I've washed with sanitizer this morning. So I'm going to pick up my little dots that came out of the center. I'm going to put these little dots down, and I'm not going to glue them in a straight line. I think I'm missing some dots here, so I'm going to punch me a couple more. So it's going to look kind of like the wind is blowing and my seeds are being scattered, and I'm not putting them in a straight line because things don't really move in straight lines in nature, right? All right, so now you can kind of see that I have some seeds flying away from my flower there. It looks like seeds are being released a little bit like that, and you can put more of those up there if you'd like. You can cut a shape out of your cardboard that's left over for a butterfly or even a caterpillar on the worm if you like. I mean, using a hole puncher is a really good way to get those little circles, and then you can put your little circles coming up the side of your leaves so it looks like there's a caterpillar there. There's all kinds of things you can do to create your work even nicer. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video hopefully, and then I'm going to show you how to finish your work and have a finished work of art when you finish, okay? All right, be right back. Hey, and I'm back. I'm sorry. I am still learning this program. It's brand new for me, just like I'm sure virtual school and some of these other things are brand new for you. So I'm still learning about doing some of these things at home, working at home. All right, so we are now to the point where we have our plate, which is where our image is, which is nice and dry. I put mine on a clipboard just so that so I can hold it where the camera can see it for you a little bit better. But there's my image that we had already created, right? And it's nice and dry now, hopefully. And so I'm going to put a piece of paper over the top. Now this is just plain old paper that we would use for the printer in our computer. It's nothing fancy. It should be something you have around the house. Please make sure you ask your mom or dad before you snitch paper from the printer to make sure that they're not going to go lacking for something they need for work. And now I'm ready to color in. So I have my crayons to work with today. And what I did is I started right in the middle and chose an orange color to kind of do my center. And so when you start creating and coloring on this, you're going to notice that where you're coloring, you can feel the bumps of that cardboard underneath. And so it basically is going to, and that pink is not showing up very well, but it's going to actually do the shape of your leaves for you. because you can feel it. Feel that edge right there. When I find an edge, I like to kind of reinforce it and color a little darker right there. All right, so I've got those pieces in between. I was going to try to make them a different color. And so I'm using a kind of a pale pink. I'm not sure you can see that very well, but I'm finding the edge of that leaf. I'm going to use maybe a lighter orange, or, well, let's go with something even more. Let's use a red violet or some color of that nature. I'm going to use that for these outer pieces right there where I had that curved piece. You remember that? All right, and so I can feel that piece in there. So I'm coloring. I'm going to make sure I bump that edge really well. And there's one right there. I'm trying to decide where my pieces are here. All right. So I'm going to color in these pieces. And if you've already colored it with another color, you can come back over it with another color. You can use colored pencils for this. You can use crayons for this. Any kind of thing like that will work. All right. So I'm going to go back in here between my things. And so I'm going to color. Do your neatest work now. Make sure you're doing some nice, neat work. All right, so you can see that that's starting to take shape. Whoop, I looked away, and so then I scribbled a little bit, but that's okay. And I'm going to bring these lines on out. So I'm going to keep on coloring until I get everything done. So there we go. I'm filling the edge of that piece right there. And there it goes right there to that point. And so I'm making sure I got that colored in. So as I add more and more to it, you can kind of see the shape of the cardboard that you had, and those negative spaces that we've had right there between the pieces. You see it'll show up kind of like a white line. So right down here where the leaves are, I'm trying to get used to my stupid camera here. All right, you can see that I colored one side of my leaf a darker color and one side a lighter color. And see right there where the white kind of shows up where we left that space, that negative space. So you can create that way if you want to. If you like, you can just take your crayon, a color crayon that you like, and just come back in and color right on top of where something is. And it'll start appearing for you because we're working with a shape that's already cut out. This is why it's kind of like a printmaking process, is because you actually have a plate underneath that has your image. All right, remember those seeds that we had? I'm going to take a blue. Of course, my seeds aren't blue, but the sky is blue, so that may not be as successful as I had hoped for, but there it is. All right, I'm going to color in the rest of my sky blue. So you can finish up your work by coloring in what you've got, and you're going to find that you have an image there. And again, boys, for you guys who don't want to do girly images like flowers and things, think about robots or trucks or other things that are combination of geometric shapes like squares and triangles and circles. And you can create all kinds of things as well. For you younger students, if you don't want to get quite this detailed with a colorful sheet like that, I'm putting it on the clipboard simply so you can see it easier. You can just take one color. You remember those crayons that you have that your mama wants to always throw out, and they're just little pieces of crayon, and Miss Becky tells you don't throw those away, just tear off the wrapper. Make sure it goes in the trash can. Don't leave a pile of trash for your mom to clean up. All right, and you have those little broken pieces that you can use to rub with. This is an excellent project for those little pieces of crayon. Unfortunately, my grandson's been here. I can't find my pieces of crayons right now, as he probably set them somewhere. I do not know, but anyway, you can take one particular color. Oh, I love this color. This is my favorite. And you can just color across your sheet like this. So for you younger girls, if you don't want to take the time to color it in individually, you can do it just like this, where you just color across the sheet, and then your image will start coming up. I'm missing that right there. There we go. I'm going back. All right, so you see that? That's really cool printmaking type of process. Yay, there's my leaf. Here's the edges of my flowers. So you can do the coloring any way you'd like to. That's just a simple way of doing it. And I hope you've enjoyed this art project for today. Do not forget that we are the art school, right? And the art school, okay, is at Wayne County Artist, hello.com. We're also on WCAC TV 16. You can watch us on YouTube of that way if you'd want to. And I'm hoping to be able to post some more videos there so you can come back and your time of quarantine or um, time at the house will be a little more productive and you'll have a little bit more fun because there's some projects for you to do. That's Art School for today. Thank you for tuning in. Love you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy.